Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, this was obvious that would be a failure, which was the cap on Russian oil. The price cap. The G7 and the weasels, they wanted cheap oil, and then whenever they want it, but very cheap from the Russians. This is a lot of capitalism here. And I said this will not work. Why? Because of the market. And NATO, or the Americans, which is NATO, would not be able to enforce this cap on everyone. Maybe they're gonna be able to enforce this on 2 or 3 weasel countries, but the rest of the world will not follow through with, or the European Union per se. Why? Because of the necessity. That's why. So yeah, it was nice on their part to think that, hey, we're gonna impose a price cap, $60 per barrel, 40, I can even remember, I think it was 60 per barrel from the Russian crude oil and so on, and the Russians were gonna say yes sir, and the Russia said not even that. So what happened? Obviously you have always a parallel economy taking shape, which is the regular, and then you got the thing under the table. Exactly what's going on here. They sanction this, they sanction that. There are always alternatives. Why? For the profit. Remember when it was the prohibition time or era in the United States of America? A lot of families got rich because of that. Not legally, but illegally. Why is that? Because that's an opportunity for some criminals to make a big profit. So is here. So let's read this article from them. It's not from the Russians, not from the Ukrainians, not from from some beautiful, how should I put it, outlet, Freight Waves. Okay, and this is an article coming from today, August 15, 2023. Greg Miller tells us sanctions on Russian crude and diesel exports are failing. No shit. If the demand increases, what are you going to do about it? And how are you going to enforce it? Bomb them? Mainstream European tanker owners have largely abandoned the Russian trade now that the country's crude and diesels have breached Western price cap. The so-called shadow fleet, tankers operating outside Western insurance and financial circles, has taken over. Red Rover, there you go. That's why Western insurance and financial circles. That's what's going to be built by the Russians, Chinese, Indians. An alternative insurance and financial circle. Western sanctions had 2 goals, which is weasel goals. First, keep Russia oil flowing. That means give us the oil at a low price. And second, curb oil revenues to Putin's military. That means supposedly curb oil revenues. No, give it to us cheap. And therefore you're going to have less. It was not like, oh, we're going to destroy Putin's military. No, it was we want as much oil, keep it flowing at a low price so we can, have a better understanding of what's going on. And goal number 2 is in major trouble. That means curbing oil revenues. Russia's exports revenues are increasing as the price of its crude and products rises and volumes remain strong despite the exit of European tanker owners. These guys thought that they are the center of the universe. Without them, everybody dies. That's a very narcissistic worldview. Without me, honey, if I'm going to leave you, you're going to be dying. Yeah, fuck off. Okay, it's a big world out there, a lot of pussy and everything else. All right, just to be bad here. Smashing price cap levels. Russian Urals crude loading in the Black Sea, port of Novorossiysk, was at $73.57 per barrel on Friday, according to data from price reporting agency Argus. That's up 49% of the past 2 months, to the highest level since early November. Prior to the EU ban on Russian crude imports, Ural crude has been above the $60 per barrel price cap since mid-July. So it was $13 above, my friends. Ural's crude was at a discount of just 14.80, so $14.80 per barrel to Brent crude on Friday, the lowest spread since the invasion of Ukraine. The discount was near $40 per barrel at the beginning of this year. prices are likewise rising for Russian refined products. Russian diesel loaded in the Black Sea hit 109, let's put it, $109 per barrel on Wednesday and was still above 107 on Friday, up over 50% since early May. Russia's Black Sea origin diesel has been over the $100 per barrel price cap since July 27. The escalating value of Russian fuel exports is smashing price cap levels, said International Energy Agency IEA on Friday. Russia's oil and product export revenues in July were the highest since November. Well. So, it was impossible, my friends. You can't control everyone yet. If Russia collapses, yes, there's going to be a step forward for these guys to control, but trade and everything else. But it's a big world out there. And the narcissistic, I don't know, interpretation of the world, thinking, oh, if we're going to impose that on you, you're going to be, you probably heard this word many times. Russia is isolated. Are you crazy? Have you ever looked at one of these? Have you ever looked to see how many countries are on this thing? Isolated, yes, from United States and about 40 other, not even 40 other weasel states that are United States' vassal club. I call it a plantation. That's all. But that's 195 countries in the world. So that's 150 more over there. It's a big world out there. Are you crazy? They overstretch their little, they bet too high, I think, way too high. But based on their ideology and in wishful thinking, this is the result. Remember when they first slapped Russia with the first sanctions? They said everything is going to be collapsing in Russia with the first one. How many more they did? 11, because now we're at the 12th. And what happens? Nothing. On the contrary, it's true that Russia was helped by Saudis and others to cut the productivity, the production. Therefore, the demand was big and the supply was smaller. So what's going to happen? The price increases, obviously. So, yeah, even if those guys came and say, hey, Mohammed bin Salman, how about you just have this Ukraine peace summit here, and we recognize you as a leader. Before, they considered him a criminal for the Khashoggi and so on murder. Oh, you were implicated. Right now, they allow him to have a summit of peace summit in Saudi Arabia. Why is that? Is he a criminal or is not a criminal? Which one is it? Oh, it depends if he is with us. He's not. If he's against us, he is. Well, that's not justice. That's selective justice. And that is not justice. So, things will get even shittier because the winter's creeping on them, on us all. So then what are you going to do? I'm okay with United States of America as long as these guys are not idiots enough to think that the wind will keep blowing and the sun will keep shining. Therefore, we're going to have all the renewable available. If we are going to be that, there's going to be a big thing in this country. I don't want to have a lower standard of living. I work for all this. Like what? Like what's his name? Tony Montana. I work with this. Remember when he's in that bathtub over there and watching the flamingos and he says, the pelican, yeah, pelican fly. I work for this. It's the same here. I work for this. I don't want these guys to limit me. In pursuit of happiness. Happiness is money. Money. Give me money. Just kidding. Money helps, but also destroys. It's all what you do, how you are. Don't lose yourselves. Or ourselves. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.